not fire, but the safety violation is there on my Twitter end. So this is a major cultural dichotomy that we see in India. Unless we as a senior people, unless we are not serious, I don't think that there's a first thing. Self-care is the best care. Second thing, the regulator, people should be very upfront in confronting the regulator. People are really afraid of the regulator. And meanwhile, I was in the government, sir. That time, always I had a feeling, or say this sort of a inferiority complex, that people would look at a government officer that he is not likely to be upright, he is not likely to be clean. But surprisingly, and I maintain my value system. And after I came out, I could see there's a rampant corruption in the private sector as well. So it is a major cultural problem. I don't blame anybody.
Right, sir. So that's
observe and do it. Now they talk third that the awareness education, yes, it is a must. Everyone talks for every safety, every environmental issues. The education should be started at a school level, at a college level. I mean, the children are so much burdened with the kind of projects they are loaded on them, and how much education you will load on them by safety, fire safety, electrical safety, road safety, environmental issues. So it is basically we all together has to be a cohesive approach. It's a long way, but it is not absolutely the impossible way.
right, sir. I think
Yes,
culture, that's the keyword you just wanted to share. And thanks for sharing the anecdotes, what you rightly said. So, what I feel is that all these accidents or incidents, what you talk about, these are all preventable provided the actions taken on time. So let me bring in other panelists also into this conversation. So, Mr. Shashi, sir, from a manufacturer's perspective, where do you think the organizations underestimate electrical risk?
I would not say that as a manufacturer, we underestimate electrical safety and all this
I'm
stuff.
talking about the others, the organizations.
See, I'll tell you, back of everybody's mind, safety is an utmost importance and necessity. As we discussed earlier also, you have the L1 issues and a whole lot of issues. Somewhere or the other, it gets digressed. So I would say safety is important. If anybody is putting up a plant, he will design in such a way, he will buy product keeping in mind that it should last at least for 4 or 5 decades. But does it really happen? We do not know, because the dilutions happen in various stages of project upcoming. So safety is one thing where it has to be embedded in everybody's day-to-day work. As Deshmukh sir mentioned about reactiveness, proactiveness of various people. For me, I'll tell you one thing. What is worrying me today, whatever we built till today, next 25, 30 years, you will see a different India altogether. Your construction activity is growing at about 8 to 10% CAGR for last few years. Whatever we have built prior to 25 years will become obsolete going forward. Are we doing a safety audit? Are we doing an energy audit? The raw materials or the products being used in a I would say in an industry or building about 25, 30 years back could have become obsolete also by now. Are we looking at replacing them? If you look at the fire instances also, very rare that you find fires taking place in new buildings. It is either old buildings or temporary construction. If you look at Film City, every now and then you'll hear a fire in the Film City because all the connections are temporary. Your pandals. I'll tell you, a couple of years back when we were doing the Zilakrama exhibition, we caught a contractor, electrical contractor, using aluminum wires. We do not know whether he has taken into consideration the requirement of current out there or not. Is he replacing copper with aluminum? Those are certain things which one needs to take care of when the execution happens. Otherwise, I do not think that anyone putting up an industry or a building will not think about safety of the people who are going to stay there or are going to work there.
Thank you, Sir. So, Sheetalji, during audits, are you seeing some of these same deficiencies before incidents occur, like what Sir mentioned and Deshmukhji?
Many times we see lot of changes. Like, see, we have designed something, and when we go for audit, many times wire sizes I don't know what is the problem with wire sizes. Like when we have calculated voltage drop, we have seen the current carrying capacity. According to that, we are specifying. But somehow, when we go for audit, contractors tend to, use some one size down just to save some pennies, or some different specification of wires. We have seen in one of our projects where, we had specified certain wire size for mains, cables for mains. But while installing, contractor has used different cable size. When we investigated, the client, he said, we have told him to change. Now, whom to catch now? If contractor is paid by client and client is taking such steps, without consulting consultants, then this is a very sorry stage where we are working with such developers. So for us consultants, we think twice working with such developers again. We have that alarm. Okay, fine, he's not conscious about the quality, he's not safety conscious, and we should not work with such developers. But I think, like sir also said, and Shashi sir also said, the safety culture comes top down. Like I said, if the developers or the industry owners, they don't want to invest in safety or a proper electrical system, thinking they are saving certain pennies, and then going forward they end up putting lot of money on maintenance, and suppose some kind of fire incident happens, then though it is much worse. But I think a lot needs to be done to have this kind of awareness. Even yesterday, I attended one Bhumi Pujan of a very big project. Now the pandal was there, like sir was saying, especially this temporary installations. Totally air conditioned, a blast of air conditioning. I was literally shivering. I was not able to sit there. And there was no safety, safety equipments there. So when you do bhumi this puja kind of things, then you have home havan happening and no safety standards, nothing is done, and then something like that happens. What will happen? Hundreds of people are inside that. You remember that Goa fire? It was something similar, So you have all fabrics and this kind of wooden furniture everywhere, and there is no safety standards, no fire protection.
Sheetalji, what will be the percentage of developers you faced, like that actually refuse the projects, who are not concerned about the safety?
Yeah. Now,
Especially
nowadays, such developers are less because now the younger generation has come, second generation, third generation of developers, and they are conscious, but still 10 to 20% people are always there, who are not bothered about what wire sizes are used, or what
Still a-
standards they are taking.
still a big number, of course. 20% is definitely going to be a big number. So, Shashi, so as a leading manufacturer of wares, how do you see that? What should facility owners, contractors, and project developers look for when selecting electrical products to ensure long-term safety? I'm not talking about the short-term safety and reliability, of course.
I would say, I think the developers or the industry should procure cables as per Indian standards. It has to be certified, quality compliant. I think I need not be telling anyone about what are those standards and what are the quality products. Everybody knows. Every brand has got a brand perception. Every brand has got a brand value. Once you look at those brands, I mean, you know that okay, these are the organization who will supply quality product into a project. I think one should blindly go with those brands and products.
Wonderful. And so, innovations happening in every front. We are becoming smarter in every kind of products. So what sort of innovations happening in cables, wiring systems, all these things?
See, I'll tell you, this is if you're giving me a topic, I can go on and speaking on about the electrical cables and wires. But electrical cables and wires have developed over a period of time. I'll just take few minutes. First fire took place in Obra thermal plant about 4 decades back. That was the time FRLS cables were introduced in India. Fire survival cables were introduced in 1991-92 for a nuclear power plant in Kakrapara and Kaiga. That was the first time fire survival cables were made in India. And over a period of time, the technology has advanced. I'll just share, like last week, I was in a cable wire conference in Hanover. Half a day, the session was on superconductor. They were not talking of neither aluminum or copper. The world is moving in a different direction altogether. But when we come back to India, let me tell about wires. You have flame retardant wire, flame retardant low smoke wire, you have zero halogen product, you have lead free products, you have wires with electron beam technology. How averse are we towards changing technology? Like National Building Code. National Building Code clearly says that high-rise building should have a zero halogen insulated wires, and it has to have a class 2 conductor. I can only share you CPWD, the government body, is the only organization today who has mandated for this product. And none of the builders, as a manufacturer, my team is trying to educate all the stakeholders on the advantage of this product category. That is, zero halogen wires need to be used so that it does not contain PVC. So in the event of a fire, there is no chlorine coming out, there is no carbon monoxide coming out. If you look at the causes of death during fire, majority of the fatality is happening due to inhalation of obnoxious gases because of suffocation. So zero halogen product does not have chlorine. It does not have any such halogen compound which can have this kind of fatality. And you have this fire resistant or fire survival cables which can survive fire for 3 hours. Of late, I find that many of the projects, fire survival cables and fire resistant cables have been recommended. In the past, people were not following up a particular specification when it comes to fire survival cables. The main purpose of fire survival cable is it has to withstand fire at least for 3 hours, that within 3 hours people could be evacuated. Prior to BIS came out with IS specification, people were going gung-ho about the specs. People were using PVC sheathing, they were using FRLS product where they should use zero halogen product. Aluminum conductors were being used, flat strip armoring being used. But now Indian standards had come out with a specification where it is mandated that the fire survival cable has to be copper. It needs to have glass mica tape. It needs to have round wire armoring. It needs to have zero halogen product. So over a period of time, as a fraternity, the industry is also moving. But how averse the consumer or the customer are to adopt to this change matters a lot. Here, I'll tell you the cost difference is not much. For a product, it could be about 5 to 6%. When I look at this cost of a percentage of the cost of the entire project cost, then it is minuscule. It will not be even 0.5% or 0.6%. So consumers should adapt to the moving technology.
Wonderful. So technology is clearly becoming an important enabler, as Shashi sir, everyone is agreed, Sheetalji as well as Deshmukh sir. So my question is that how can organizations move from treating electrical safety as a compliance requirement to making it part of workplace culture? That is the vital point from the very beginning. We're trying to address it. So Sheetalji, if you can talk about that.
So I think all organizations should, establish electrical safety competency programs. So every electrician, every supervisor, every maintenance technician should undergo periodic training and competency assessment, which is not happening. See, you in any even industries, you have your maintenance staff, but are we training them regularly? That is not happening. So I think periodic training should happen. They should know to how to use the products, the protections clearly, and all these things are not happening. And that kind of culture needs to be developed within the organizations.
Okay, so point
And I
taken.
think at the
Yeah.
grassroots, the technicians, the electricians are the people we need to, concentrate on.
Right.
Ultimately, whatever products you put, whatever materials you use, ultimately they are the ones who are handling it. And if you are not
Exactly.
educating them enough, if you are not training them again and again, it
Exactly.
is not going to happen.
It has to be a continuous process and
Yes, it has
from
to
the
be a
very
continuous
grassroots.
process.
Yes, point
Yes,
taken.
yes, yes.
This
Because
book,
in our country, safety is taken very lightly. So electricians are, they are not doing lotto. They are just doing maintenance, and their life is also at risk. So
Right.
they need to be trained regularly.
Okay, so let's be specific. Here we are talking only about electrical safety when I talk about the safety of the country. So this books are again. So what's your take on that? How can organizations move from treating electrical safety as a compliance requirement?
It is a compliant requirement, but what the earlier panelists also have said is specifically, now Sheetalji has said that the concern, unless you don't have the fire in your belly about it, things will not happen. That conviction is completely missing, completely in the sense on a 1:10 scale, it could be 2 or 3, but it is by and large, it is missing. Perspective of the society, how to change is a major challenge that is before me. While in the government, of the government, partially still my one leg in the government, but this is a major challenge. We have been conducting many programs even for the people, those who want to purchase their flat per se. Now, what they go and see there, they see where there is a gym available, there's a pool available. The water is not there, or they don't bother, but the pool is there. Okay, they are happy. Then you have the recreation area. Then you have some more things. Then more usable area. All that they check, but they don't bother in case of a fire maybe due to the electrical short circuit or whatever. There are 3 bedrooms, then am I going to put all the at least 3 air conditioners? If my room sizes are bigger, will I require maybe the 4 ACs, 5 ACs? For that, whether the system is backbone is compliant of, nobody bothers. No, even you see today, you travel in a city, you will find there are air conditioners put in the juggies also. So what is the current, what is the voltage, and what is the load that the system is designed for? So that kind of a cultural change, that is how to change the perspective of the people rather than seeing, yes, other amenities are very important, but in addition to these amenities, whether the building envelope is safe or not, if that perspective is created, that perspective is. Now there are 3 cases where I come across. The workers have made some sort of a agitation or strike, not for their wages, not for any other facilities, but the safe working hours or safe working in the factory. And they have shown, they have taken pictures, they have shown that there are loose wires are there, this is there, that is there. How do you expect us to be safe? Our families are waiting there, and workers have done literally a flash strike, and the management has then become serious. So it is a top-down approach, but yes, it is a bottoms-up approach as well. Cohesive approach. Major
Right.
thrust I am giving is an awareness that whether I am safe. People travel by different airlines; they see the air ticket cost. Nobody bothers whether he is in the air bus or whether he is into the what. So this is what the perspective of the people needs to be changed, and how to change that, it is a Herculean task. There are a lot of political engagements are required, a lot of bureaucratic engagements are required, a lot of NGOs, selfless NGOs engagements are required. We have been doing this job. It is a very thankless Herculean job, but why thanks are required even? As long as we enjoy the satisfaction out of what we are doing as a Fire Safe India Foundation, we are happy about doing it. So similarly, like-minded people should come together, and this bandwagon should go towards what we are talking about, a developed nation with three-level economy, or six-level economy, or China is ahead of us, or India is ahead of
Right.
somebody else. These are, I mean, the very, very secondary, tertiary issues. The
Right.
issue is, are we living safe? That is more important. And
Right.
that awareness we focus. We even should be upright with the regulators. We should be upright with. ठीक है, people will call you a fighting cock, but somebody has to bail the cat.
Right.
Somebody has to be the bad boy. So
Right.
that's the way we start, in a very proper approach, proper way, without any controversies also. And then I think we can achieve the desirable goal.
Right. So the question raised is, are we living safe? Very important question. I think we are focusing on that only, and we are enjoying the conversation with Shashi sir, Deshmukh sir, as well as Sitalji. And viewers, I think you are also enjoying it. And to make it more, engaging one, I would request all of you to just put your questions. If you have anything in your mind, put it in the Q&A box. Definitely, we'll come and take those questions after this panel discussion. After the compliance, the next step is the audit and inspection. Sitalji. So organizations often conduct electrical audits only after the incident occurs. So what should a proactive electrical safety audit program look like? If you can make it very briefly.
First of all is we need to first check whether whatever is designed, that thing is installed. That is the first and foremost what we do. Because many times it happens like designer has designed something, but it is not installed properly. So that is one thing what we do, and that any auditor should do while that person is checking the audit. Second is, I think any new load which is documentation is very important. So what happens, once a developer or a company owner completes the project and hands it over, what happens after that, over the years, new load is added, or some modification is done, and that is not documented properly. So I think that documentation is something which needs to be, properly done, and that needs to be properly maintained.
Right.
Because many times when we go for audit, the as-built drawing itself are not there, or they are not maintained. So even when electrician goes for checking, that time also he doesn't have that kind of things. And third is, I think a good auditor should examine proper protection coordination is done. The all switchgear protection is properly coordinated. Then physical condition needs to be checked. Then whether the maintenance practices are, properly maintained. And they have to also see the competency of the maintenance persons. So usually this major gap what we were talking about since morning, since our discussion started, is about competency of the people who are maintaining it. That is also, I think, is very much important when it should be the part of audit, not only what you see, but also whether people who are maintaining the infrastructure, whether they are competent enough.
Right. Let me take Shashi's sir's input on that. Sir, as a Polycab, what sort of initiatives you are taking to, in this kind of thing, like to make, the entire ecosystem competent enough?
See, as a manufacturer, I represent the manufacturing representative. So what we can do is we can only educate people. Whatever I produce, whether I produce as per the standards, what are the quality of the raw materials being bought? Like, for example, our product has become a commodity. The way the metal is behaving of late, it has become a commodity product. Whether I think Deshmukh ji mentioned about minimalistic dimensions and cross section, all that. What is important is whatever cables and wires being produced, are they meeting the conductor resistance which are specified as per the standards? Whatever insulation you are using, Are they meeting the requirement of insulation resistance? Once this is done, I think you should not have a problem about the dimensions or the sizes. As outside the organization, we can only do as a manufacturer is to educate people on the safety aspect. Like we did a lot of sessions last year, and we are continuing doing it in educating the fraternity or the consumer or the customers, contractors, consultants on the National Building Code. And I still remember we did a fire safety event in Bangalore, and I was in one of the panel along with a representative from BIS and Karnataka Inspectorate. I raised this topic about audit, and suddenly it popped up saying that we have a manpower issue. When government is talking about a manpower issue, then it would be difficult to say further on that. But our job is only to educate and ensure that people follow the norms.
In a country like India, still we have manpower issues. So
We do have, even electrical inspector do not have manpower to do a proper check and audit of all the installations.
Oh, wonderful. Deshmukh sir, after hearing all these points and your observations also what you made, that do you feel that India should consider mandatory periodic third-party electrical safety audit for high-risk buildings or facilities?
I can just say what initiatives we have taken in Maharashtra. And fortunately, they are being rolled out in the other states because the fire services is a state subject.
Okay.
National Building Code is just a recommendatory document.
Absolutely.
But fire is a state subject. First thing that during my tenure we could get an independent legislation on fire safety. There is the Maharashtra Fire Prevention Life Safety Measures Act and the rules thereunder. That was, I would say, one of my and my teams, of course. Me, when I say me and my, of course, my team, it was a very big achievement that we had. For training, what Sheetalji reiterated, I appreciate that. We established a very good training center in Santa Cruz. There is a State Fire Academy in addition to our national college. That was the second major initiative. Third, we did the gap analysis of the whole state, and I could find out there are about 100 municipalities that time. They had no single fire truck and machinery to respond, apart the audit and inspection. So basic response. So that was not there. So we could convince the government and get the planned scheme. The name of that scheme is also Agni Suraksha Abhiyan. Under that we got a lot of funding, lot in the sense in the terms of the subject importance given by the ministries for the fire services. And we could get some funding and we could establish about new 100 fires. And the number of municipalities have now increased, but that scheme is going on. After that, we got a concept as a licensed fire contractor. I said there's a licensed electrical contractor, licensed fire contractor. Why not bring the licensed fire contractor? And we started that process by provision in the statutes. And during my time, we conducted really the camps and issued about 400 licenses. Now there are 600, 700 license agencies in Maharashtra. Second thing, we said that before the fire officer goes for inspection, the license agency has to give one certificate, compliance certification that the old fire systems are in absolute order. Now that started. That's called as a Form A. And then again Sheetalji said, once it is done, then it is ignored. For that, we also experienced that these fire approvals were being renewed every year. And what Mr. Shashiji said, there was no manpower. But still, renewals were coming. So you can imagine the number of renewals coming on the desk of any regulator, what impact it could have. It would become another black box. So I said, nothing doing. These licensed contractors should check the buildings once in 6 months. In the month of January and July, they should give the fitness certificate of the system. That is also partially working. Of course, there are loopholes and people, lawmakers could be few members of the committee, but then there are people who are finding the ways to overcome the provisions there. Third thing, now we decided that there should be an independent fire audit for at least special buildings. I am not saying each and every building. And fortunately, that amendment also got enacted. And now there is a provision under the Maharashtra Fire Act that should be independent fire safety auditor. Unfortunately, these are different engineering branches: electrical, fire, civil, structural. So, but the fire auditors, fire safety auditors, may not be able to do the electrical safety audit. But in our report, we prescribe that in addition to this, you get a clear electrical audit also, electrical safety audit also, and then our report will be full-fledged.
Right.
Fourth thing we did, now the last amendment that we got in our act is we have insisted for, there was a Avigna building fire in the Parel area of Mumbai, and there was a hue and cry, and the, as you said, the breaking news always keeps on running nowadays. So the findings came to me that from my colleagues that there was no water in the ground level water reservoir. So if you have the fabulous system on the top and if there is no water below in the tank, what is the pumping machinery, your secondary pump, your backup pump, your jockey pump and the whole piping, what is it of use of? Then we said we'll go for the IoT based system. That also amendment has come in picture. We expect that on the IoT we should get a clear report whether there was adequate water, whether the pumps are working in working condition, if the lines are fully charged, everything. Now the further mission is using this particular amendment provision that whether this system can come on the control room of the state government and the respective regional fire departments, that they can monitor certain precious properties, whether the systems are in order or not. So similarly, even the electrical safety, as he already said about the conductors and all. So similarly, if there are faults, by utilizing the integrating the IoT, if the faults are detected in time, that there is likely to be overheating of the cables, or something is wrong or sparking, or the MCB is not getting operated automatically because resistance is given little high. So those things are also taken into the IoT. Maybe that will help.
Right, sir.
With this few things what we have done now, Delhi also got this amendment done into their rules, and they are also going for the concept called as the IoT based systems. So this is how this regulatory culture has to be built, by getting the experts from outside if there is no adequate manpower. But even what they are submitting to the regulator, that also they should have the competency to vet that report, and take the corrective action. Laws are made not to create panic in the society. I request my people, you at least five prosecutions, and drive those to two convictions, and make big publicity of that. So the law is to make deterrent, and law is not to make the something else. So but that is also not happening, because the judiciary, I don't know, difficult to talk on the judiciary, but a conviction rate in India for all, not fire or electrical short circuit or this, but entire criminal cases, conviction rate is not more than 2%.
Oh my goodness.
So if the conviction rate is not more than 2%, will there be a deterrent in the society where there will be a fear of law?
Right.
People could be God fearing because God exists only in India. But people should be law fearing. That law abidiness has to be really built. And regulators should not just make the misuse of the the weapon given to them, but they should make the effective use, so that there will be a deterrent in the society, and then naturally the
Right.
awareness, cautiousness, what things we have discussed, they will help in a big way.
Right. So before you go for the Q&A, I'll just ask one common question to all the panelists. Please answer it in one sentence. If you could recommend one action that every Indian organization should implement immediately to improve electrical safety, what would it be? Starting with Shashi sir.
I would strictly say follow the standards laid down and buy product from the organization who are trustworthy.
Sheetal ji. Sheetal ji, can you unmute yourself? Desmukh sir, if you can just add.
Yeah, I would say the customer behavior. One sentence you wanted, because that was
Right.
a big puzzle before all of us, that to address this such a topic with one sentence.
Exactly.
But everyone has to be aware of. Every person in the family should ask, do we have a fire extinguisher? Is our circuit breaker is working or not working?
Right.
So that is the kind of awareness within me about my safety or my family's safety or my employees' safety. That's the only way I look forward.
Right. Sheetalji, yes.
Sorry, my mouse battery was drained.
No problem.
So I was not able to. So I think for me, it is, grassroots training. I think that is what is required.
Wonderful. So when you go for the Q&A, I'll just run a short commercial video from Polycab. Guys, sorry for that. And just I think you will enjoy that video as well. So let's quickly go for the Q&A.
In every heartbeat of a home, in every spark of a city, there's a rhythm powered by Polycab. Every great journey begins with a spark, a dream to connect, to conduct, to empower. From the very beginning, safety has been our promise, a promise that powers homes, protects lives, and builds trust. What began as a dream in a modest shop in 1964 was wired into reality in 1983 as Polycab India Limited, now India's largest wires and cables manufacturer. From wires and cables that protect your loved ones, to fans that cool your homes, to lighting that brightens your spaces, Polycab touches lives in more ways than you can imagine. Polycab is a true manufacturing marvel. With state-of-the-art facilities, backed by robust R&D and integrated capabilities. We are not just building products, we are partners in building India. From temples to tech, from railways to runways. Behind every product is a passionate team. 4,800 plus employees, 4,300 plus distributors, and 200,000 plus retail outlets united by Polycab Soch. Our commitment goes beyond business. Through CSR, we uplift communities in education, healthcare, agriculture, and more. Sustainability isn't a checkbox. It's the rhythm of our future, and we are tuned in, driven by a purpose to make homes safer and enable a secure India. Polycab has grown exponentially. As the nation progressed, Polycab became the nervous system, laying copper veins of connectivity. Polycab is truly a made-in-India brand. With a global reach, our pulse is now heard across continents.
We are a family in this line from 4 decades, worked hard and work for India. We want to expand our capacity too large because I want to grow, I want to get others grow, I want to support everybody, and I want to see that our country should grow.
Beyond all lies our true mission, people. Every product we build, every solution we deliver carries our vision of connecting all to a bright and safe future. When you choose Polycab, you choose safety, reliability, and a partner for life.
Can you stop screen sharing? Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your time. And there are a couple of questions definitely we should take. One is from Pallavi Mukherjee. I think she's from National Federation of Engineers, I think. Yeah. So she's saying that we regularly do fire and electrical safety audits. Indian clients are super sensible in price even for audits. They do audits for compliance and safety audits for compliance, and safety is the secondary thing for client. How to ensure that safety comes first and compliance secondary for client? So who would be the best person?
In fact, I would just say that we work very closely with NFE.
Right.
We have done a lot of program of educating people all over
Exactly.
on safety and the standards. I think we regularly do these activities here.
Right. Sheetal, would you like to comment on this?
See, the question what she has asked, you can't change somebody's conscience, right? Like we were talking about this. See, you can't change that. We can only do awareness, and we as a consultants, many times, we fight with our clients. We tell them this is this why safety is important, everything, and some clients definitely understand and take the required measures, but not everybody. You can't change anybody's conscious problem. Awareness is required.
Yeah, Mr. Kuldeep Chandani is asking a question to Mr. Deshmukh sir. I think he wants that that such fire safety awareness program to be conducted in Tier 2, Tier 3 cities also. So how can we do this? But that's very important.
What is the question? That the fire safety program?
How can we do this fire safety programs in Tier 2, Tier 3 cities? Because mostly we are focusing on Tier 1 cities like Mumbai, Delhi.
The Tier 2, Tier 3 also we have been doing it. What we are doing, I'll tell you in very brief, that we conduct the entire state level. It's not a 2 tier, 3 tier, but even the villages, the Jilla Parishad schools and all that also. We conduct very good essay competitions. Then we do the very good drawing competitions for the children. Okay. Third thing what we do is the the award reward mechanism. Last more than a decade we have started, it was initiative that the industrial fire drills. Earlier it was only between the public fire services. We started industrial fire drills, and there are hundreds of thousands of industries are participating. Even the industries from those are the facility in Maharashtra, and beyond that they have the facilities in the Andhra Pradesh and other states. They have also showed initiatives, and number of teams come here in Mumbai, and now we are starting at regional level, and they participate in this kind of a competition drills, and for that again the award reward mechanism is there. So these are the basic things we are doing. In addition to that, we have told our local fire stations of the 2 tier, 3 tier cities to go to the schools, go to the industries, go to the occupancies, and conduct some programs. Invite people to the nearest fire station and teach them about the resilience and other things.
Right.
But again, I am sorry to say that apparently it appears to be very bad to listen that government also has no manpower. That is there you put the exclamation, Mr. Subhajit. But the fact remains that as per the 11th Finance Commission, there is a 80% deficiency in the fire services across India. 80% deficiency in terms of number of fire stations required, number of manpower required, number of type of machinery, and number of machinery required, the motor pumps and the trucks and all those things. So 80%, even that deficiency is still constant, because though we are trying to bridge the gap through the central government financing and all that, but still that deficiency remains, because as the cities are increasing in numbers, cities are growing, their boundaries are increasing, the population is increasing, so that number remains more or less constant. So, and when somebody moved a PIL on that issue, the judiciary had replied, I don't want to say which court and which judge and all that,
Right.
but judiciary said, even in judiciary we have 50% deficiency. What you are talking about the fire services? Then where to go and
Right.
what to do is a question before us. But these are unless we go to the real facts. Suppose you had to change, I had to bring some change in me. Suppose I have to improve my handwriting per se. First I should understand my handwriting is really bad, it is not legible, and I have to put some effort to improve. But if I don't accept that yes, it is not bad or no improvement is required, then the improvement will never happen. So being complacent is not the solution, but be factful is the only solution, and
Right.
that is what I always give emphasis on.
Right. So things are changing, but the pace what is required should be much higher.
Yes.
So there are quite interesting points or observations made by Mr. Siddhappa Kamthi, Mr. Sandeep Devnath, Nitin Gupta, Anand Pate, then Arpit Kumar Sudhar. I cannot take each one of your questions. Kirti Prasad, again Kirti Kumar, then Anand Pete. Thank you so much, all of you. Pallavi Mukherjee, of course. And here again, quite a few questions are still pending. Atela Narendra is saying that Deshmukh sir, one question I'll take you. As you rightly mentioned that conviction is 22%. So his question is how to increase this, and is there any domain which gives the detailed case studies for the present generation engineers? And point 3 is there any coordination needed for fire authorities and electrical inspectorate to give common compliance? I think you can take the question 3, of course.
See, as building somebody's, the conscious or building the conviction rate in the country, I am not the appropriate person to address for. I would request Subjit, next time you call some retired judge of the High Court or Supreme Court. If you really need some help, I can get someone who's really good, and they are the experts who will address how to improve upon the conviction rate in India. Second question was, what is that second question you said?
The second question was, is there any domain which gives the detailed case studies for the present generation engineers, but on the safety aspect?
There is no domain as such so far in the Indian context, but yes, IIT Ahmedabad IIT Gandhinagar is doing some. Maybe you can explore on the portal. And second thing I would suggest, Subjit, to you, that if there are some questions still remain unaddressed,
Right.
with those questions with the concerned person's contact details are shared to the respective panelists,
Yes.
we can try and connect and still address them, because
Surely.
we can't leave them hungry like that.
Understand, sir. The only thing is that I'm already 11 minutes out of our scheduled time, because you spoke really well. Sorry that I could not take each one of your questions. So before we conclude, I would like to ask each of the panelists one final question. By National Electrical Safety Week 2027, that is next year, what measurable improvement would you like to see in India's electrical safety landscape? We said that each one of you have agreed that there are changes, but pace is required. So if you can conclude with your concluding statement.
Yes, Subhajit, as an organization, I represent Polycab. Whatever needs to be done in educating people, we've been associated with National Federation of Engineers, we've been associated with EMA, we've been associated with FSCI. Whatever we could do as an organization, we will continue doing in educating the people as regards safety.
Right. 𝒓𝒆𝒑𝒂𝒍, sir.
As I said, we have been doing something and we want to improve upon, and our effort is still on. I spoke to you yesterday also.
Right.
So we conduct a lot of webinars, physical training programs, demonstrations. We do that, and I think we need to augment our resources and do it better.
Surely, sir. Sheetalji, unmute yourself, ma'am. Yeah.
So as a consultant, I will keep on educating my clients and, keep on spreading the awareness. Whichever forums I go, I'm connected with FSI, I'm connected with Real Women Global Community, which is Women in Construction community. We have Pan-India presence. So different forums, we will keep on talking and, spreading awareness about electrical safety.
Thank you so much, Shashi sir, Sheetal sir, as well as Mr. Deshmukh for sharing your commitments for the next 1 year or so. Thank you so much. So today's discussion has reinforced an important message, that is, electrical safety is not just about regulations or technology. It is about competence, compliance, and caution working together. So as India continues its journey of industrial and infrastructure growth, creating a strong culture of electrical safety will require collaboration among policyholders, policymakers, manufacturers, consultants, employees, and every individual who works with electricity. On behalf of Moja for Industry, thank you to our speakers and to everyone who joined us today. I would also like to thank Polycab India Limited for partnering with Moja for Industry to bring this important discussion today. Stay safe, stay compliant, and make electrical safety a shared responsibility. Thank you and goodbye. Thank you so much, Sheetal sir, Sheetalji, Shashi sir, and Deshmukh sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Subhajit.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sheetalji. Thank you, Deshmukhji. Thank you.
Thank you.